Hello everyone, and welcome to another review. It is Sunday. I am feeling so much better. I've gotten over my sickness. I think it was the flu, and what better way to celebrate than go ahead and do a review. So today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance that was released in 2011, and as you can see from the title, it is Bond Number 9's Andy Warhol. So here is the bottle and the depiction of it. This is the same kind of bottle shape that all the Bond Number 9 bottles have. The difference with this one, Andy Warhol, you can see it has Andy Warhol's face. This is actually Andy Warhol when he was 35. This was like in the 60s. So that's kind of the vibe that they were going for. This is a 100 milliliter. It comes in two main sizes, 50 milliliter and 100 milliliter. The 50 milliliter is going to run you about $180, and the 100 milliliter is going to run you about $260. So it's more on the pricey side, definitely on the pricier side of things. Now, I can tell you another thing about purchasing this fragrance, and that you may have a little bit trouble purchasing it. I didn't see it available anymore off of the main Bond Number 9 website to go ahead and purchase. I could have looked a little bit different, but I'd heard that it had been discontinued because of some controversy with Bond Number 9 and with Andy Warhol, and there were being some, I believe, some racist allegations or something along the lines, and they discontinued this for a time being and kind of released it without Bond or Andy Warhol's face. But then I'm not sure what the heck happened to it because I don't see it there anymore. It might still be there, but I didn't see it, right? So you may have a little bit trouble finding it, is what I'm basically trying to say. So shop around if you can. Those were the base prices. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the notes for this fragrance. The notes. For the top, we have citrus, bergamot, cypress, and plum. For our mid, we have jasmine, French labdanum, patchouli, rose, and oud. And for our base, we have musk, sandalwood, vanilla, and olibanum. There we go. Right. So what I get three main notes when I smell this fragrance. There are really three main things that I get from this fragrance. One, plum. Plum is the main thing that comes to my mind. You don't really get citruses, but you really get a very strong plum note, and it's very pleasant. It's very beautiful, very succulent. I wouldn't say succulent, but it's very playful, if you will. The second note that I get is oud, basically. You get plum, oud, and vanilla is the third note. So you get a very, I would say, playfully sweet type of a fragrance that is, kind of set on top of by your oud, basically. And the oud kind of, with the mix of the items in this, the oud kind of comes off as a little bit resinous. So for those of you who have not smelled oud, it's generally a pretty stinky wood, but if you apply it correctly, you can kind of make it into something very sweet, or not very sweet, but very sexy and very masculine. And that's really kind of what I get from it. In fact, if I was to think of the type of oud that this reminds me of from other fragrances, if you have smelled Tom Ford's Oud Wood, that's the type of oud that I really get from this. And if I were to really think about it and put my mind to it, I would say that if I was to apply plum and vanilla to oud wood, I would kind of get a scent that smells very similar to this one. And that's really what I get. Very pleasant smelling oud, very sweet, very playful, and that resinous note kind of gives it a nice feel to it. Now, this fragrance is definitely a unisex fragrance. I can see it working well just for women, just as well as it working for men, basically. So it really depends on what notes kind of picks out and what kind of goes better with your skin off of it. I personally found this one to be pretty nice in terms of how it comes off on my skin, especially, and the resin or the resinous type of a feel really comes off on mine, and the plum really comes out to front, and the vanilla adds a little bit more of a sweetness to it. And those are really the three main notes that I get for it. I don't really get that many florals from it. I mean, there's jasmine, there's French labdanum, there's rose in it, and I have tried for the life of me to pick out, and I can kind of faintly get some, but I don't really, get it overall. I get those three main notes that I was actually mentioning before. Now, spray-wise, I usually give it about 2 to 4 sprays, depending on the mood that I'm in, depending on the season I'm in. Season-wise, you can really wear this one year-round. Personally, I prefer to wear this one. This is one of my staple springs fragrances. To me, it just goes perfect in the spring. You've got everything's beginning to warm up a little bit. In fact, it's almost about to start turning spring, and I absolutely can't wait. Next month it was, yeah. And I absolutely cannot wait. 4 more weeks, and we're there. But either way, when it starts to warm up, add a little bit of sweetness. It's still got a little bit of that woodsiness to give it a little bit of a base for it, and it just absolutely does well for that situation. And it's extremely versatile as well, and will serve you in pretty much most different scenarios. Let's take, for example, work. Definitely you can wear it to work. Might be a little bit too sweet for some people, but you can wear it to work. Casual, it's a staple casual fragrance. And as far as a date fragrance goes, I don't think you can really go that wrong with this fragrance. There are definitely other better fragrances for it, but it is definitely versatile in that manner. So when you buy it, I would say that it's definitely signature scent worthy. It's something that you can wear pretty much in all around, all seasons, all occasions type thing. The only type of occasion that I would say that it doesn't really suit much is upper class. It just doesn't scream upper class to me. It screams very, it can be casual, it can be laid back, definitely good enough to work, but not really good enough for upper class. That's the one scenario that I would kind of say, or a high-end event, I would kind of probably steer away from it a little bit. But that's just me. As with all fragrances, do what you will with it. As far as occasion goes, or not really occasion, but as far as people goes, what am I saying, people? But age group, any age group. Performance-wise, I've got a little bit of a weird thing with this. I generally get anywhere between 4 and 12 hours. And I know that's a pretty wide range. And I haven't been able to figure out what to attribute it to. But generally, if I go about 4 sprays, it'll easily last me about 12 hours and beyond. But when I say and beyond, by that point, it's pretty much a skin scent. It's definitely still there, but it's pretty much a skin scent, and that's really the oud. And the plum is still there a little bit, but the oud is really what's carrying it beyond that point. All right, so as with all fragrances, I took this one out to Times Square and had had 100 people smell it. There were 73 people who liked the fragrance, and of the people who liked it, they said that it was unique, yummy, and playful were the top 3 comments. Of the people who disliked it, which were 20 people who disliked it, they said that it was too sweet. They said that it was feminine, and they said that it was masculine. So, 2 sides of the coin there. Some people thought that it was too feminine, some people thought that it was too masculine. And that was from both specters, whether it be women or men. Right? And there were 7 people who thought it was neutral, a little bit of a mix between the two. Right? So if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, personally, I love this fragrance, and I give this fragrance a rating of a 9 out of 10. I give it a 9 out of 10 because it's very versatile. You can pretty much wear it anywhere you want, and this is often one that I reach for when I can't really think of anything else to wear as well. Sometimes when I'm going out and it's springtime, I'll wear it and kind of decide, all right, it's time, and I'll just put it on, and I just absolutely love it. It does absolutely well. It doesn't get as many compliments as I would think it would get. But it does get compliments from fragrance lovers. But as far as normal average people go, they think you smell good, but they're not really going to jump out at you. At least they haven't jumped out at me and told me that I smelled great off of this one. But the one downside that I would definitely say that really kind of hurts this one, even though it smells absolutely fantastic, very unique smelling scent, it still has a quality to it, it's too expensive, basically. Sorry, I'm trying to mix words, but at the end of the day, I think that it's too expensive for... I mean, I guess you could... I mean, it's all in the beholder, but I still think that... Yeah, I still think that it could be a little bit cheaper, but that's just my opinion. Of course, everyone has their different price points and everything like that. The other thing that kind of worries me is the spotty longevity. So... definitely test this one out in your skin, see how it does, make sure that it's not terrible on your skin or that its longevity doesn't suffer. Alright? So if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free, send me a message, leave me a note down below, do whatever you gotta do. Thank you, take care of yourselves, and have a great day.